Hi, Dr. Kylie Dodsworth here. Today I want to talk to you about indigestion, which is a really common issue that people come in with. And what's really fascinating is the fact that the way normal medical treatment goes is actually not fixing our problems at all. It actually masks the problem and entrenches the issue. So to really fix indigestion, we need to go right down into what's causing that problem in the body. So indigestion is often called heartburn or reflux as well. What that means is that we've got acid from our stomach moving up into the esophagus and sometimes even further up into the mouth. Now, we then look, as medicine, as doctors, we look to try to block that acid to look after or protect the esophagus. But that actually doesn't fix the problem, and it creates other issues, because if we block the acid, which is what we're supposed to have in our stomach, we don't do all the normal digestion that we should be doing. So stomach acid is actually made deliberately by the stomach because it does a number of things for our digestion. As we swallow our food down, protein, when it arrives in the stomach, needs to be broken apart by that acid. And in breaking apart the protein, we actually then expose our minerals, zinc, magnesium, calcium, to be able to be absorbed further down through the intestines. So stomach acid has a really important role for protein digestion, mineral absorption. It also helps to kill off some of the yeast and the bacteria and things that come in on the food so we don't overload our intestines. The acid, as it's released from the stomach, will stimulate then our gallbladder and our pancreas to release their digestive juices as well. And that's what then continues the digestion through the intestines. So if we don't have the acidity to trigger that, that impairs further digestion for us as well. The final thing that the acid does, which is actually in this instance the most important thing, is it actually stimulates the release of a little hormone called gastrin. Now, gastrin signals to the esophagus, the little sphincter muscle there, to close and help to block off the esophagus so the food can't come back up this way. The gastrin also signals the pylorus, or the other end of the stomach, to open, and then helps us to squeeze the food into the intestines. So gastrin is signaled by stomach acid to close the esophagus, open the other end, and empty the stomach. So if we don't have the stomach acid in sufficient quantities because you're taking medication to stop it, we're not signalling for that to happen. So if we go right back to the beginning though, why does the indigestion happen in the first place? Well, it actually generally happens because we're not making enough stomach acid. It's not an oversupply that we're often told. It's not that there's too much, it's acid in the wrong place. But it happens because there's not enough to signal the gastrin to close the esophagus and move things through. So the treatment for indigestion is actually to increase the amount of acid back to normal levels again. So all the signaling happens, the closure, the emptying, all of that happens appropriately. So we need to make more stomach acid happen. Now, why are we not making enough? It's often because of a zinc deficiency. So zinc is a mineral that helps a little enzyme in the stomach called carbonic anhydrase to actually make hydrochloric acid. So we literally make hydrochloric acid in our stomach and we secrete it onto the food. Now that's really acidic. If you dropped it on your skin, you'd burn a hole in yourself. But our stomach also produces a nice thick mucus layer to protect itself. So our stomach is designed to make acid and protect itself. The esophagus doesn't have that protection, so if the acid goes the wrong way, it does burn and cause problems. So more zinc helps us to make more stomach acid and better protective mucus lining as well. So if people do have indigestion, we need to think about bringing in more zinc into their diet through high zinc foods or through supplementing. We can also help to signal to the stomach to make more acid with things that are bitter. So bitter herbs, things called Swedish bitters that you can take as well. You can also put a little bit of lemon juice on your food or into some water when you're actually having a meal to get a bit more acidity happening that way. If you've actually got some indigestion, then you might even want to supplement with some slippery elm that helps to coat and protect the esophagus, and glutamine that helps to stimulate healing if there has been some inflammation or ulceration. So if you've got indigestion and if you're taking medication, you could start to bring some of these things on board and then slowly look at weaning off the medication. If you have more symptoms, then you'll need to, of course, get some more medical attention. But if you can, you start to use your supplements, you start to improve the normal processes back into balance again, and then everything should go from this direction to that direction and not cause you any more problems. So that's probably the easiest way to make a start to manage indigestion and truly fix the problem. So I'm Dr. Kylie Dodsworth, and if you have any questions, then you can reach out to me through the website, and the details are below. Thanks for that. Bye.